to go in on this one. Y'all ready for it? Let's go. Coming in so hard on the beat like Bow Wow cornrows wanna be Mike. Laced up to the top, about to take flight. Meet me at the rim? Yes, I keep it going. Yeah, I'm flowing like a prophet. I am chosen to fix this world that is broken. Here's a lesson, better note it. We all try to be civil. Hashtag shut up and dribble. Pledge allegiance to the flag while they emptied out the mag. Take a knee for the politics. Got them on the knees now, just suck it. Whoa, no homo. Don't choke, get it right, Tony Romo. Yeah, that was kinda raw, wasn't it? Finesse words all day for the fun of it. Nowadays, no one cares, cause a man can't say and get away with no punishment. But don't sit well with me. I lost change, but it's still incomplete. Gotta be more radical than Malcolm. Xing out all possible outcomes. Trump sparking, school's marksman. Got wall fires, that's sparking. Can't forget kids are starving, but they the only folks marching. How much longer will this linger? Stacking problems like Jenga. Issues pierce life with stingers. And I'm out, 2 fingers. Welcome everyone, we're back to you live with another Two Fingers podcast. I'm actually here with my best friend Christian Gray, also known as CBGray. Pretty much one of YouTube's best content creators for the video game Destiny 2. It's a video game we actually started playing back in 2014 when it first released. And we've been playing together. Of course, as you can see, he's taking it a lot further. So for this episode, we're doing something special, especially to start the new year off. I decided to kind of come to his realm, and we're going to do and see how he kind of gets it done on his side of the world. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, my man CBGray. How you doing, bro?
Yo, doing well. We've been hanging out the last few days in Texas and, giving you the Texas experience and now the Destiny 2 experience.
It's great, man. So for those of you who don't know, my birthday has recently just passed, January 11th. So for my birthday, I actually decided to fly down and visit him at his new house. I haven't been here yet, so this is my first time being here. So I wanted to see his new house, his new setup, how everything works down here. So he is down here in Texas, and unfortunately, we're starting to wrap it up. This is kind of the conclusion of the trip, but it's been a blast, man. Yeah.
Happy belated birthday, too. The big 28. Thank you. Big happy birthday shout outs to the GOAT.
Absolutely, man. God, 28, man. That hurts.
Both of us. Double 28s.
The dirty 30 is knocking at the door.
Only one more birthday in the 20s before the big 3-0.
He's before me, though. That's all that matters.
By 2 months.
But with that being said, so what we're going to do today is we're going to hold our interview while we're playing the video game, so you can kind of see what he does. I'll also tag his YouTube channels and other socials in the YouTube link, as well as our other platforms as well. That way you guys can follow and see more of him. I actually was in his stream, so if you guys go back and watch it, you'll see the stream. Sorry if I look so confused, bro. It's crazy the amount of multitasking he does. Yo. It's ridiculous. No, my sensories were all over the place. I was zoning in and out. This man does so much all at once. It's ridiculous. But yeah, we're just gonna keep it light. We're gonna keep it simple. We're just gonna play like a couple strikes, which is some PvE gameplay that is easy to do while we're doing this. That way I can rest my brain. Like I said, the sensories, I can't do what he does. So I'm gonna do my best to put on my best CBGray impersonation while we're behind the camera and behind the screen. So yeah, you ready? I'm gonna go ahead and launch this. I'm gonna launch this into a strike.
Load us in.
And we'll start off.
Hopefully we get something good. Not Battlegrounds.
Oh my goodness. Please don't let it do it. What is this? What is the burn for the day? Art? I mean, it doesn't really matter, but I'm going to have it art and just...
Oh, just for your pinnacle? I
guess
I
should do the
Might
same. As well just knock it out since we're on it.
All right, let me do the same thing then. Okay, this should be fine. Got the cowboy hat on. I'll leave it on.
The cowboy hat was lit.
Okay, let me... okay, yeah, I'll be fine with this. This will be fine. I'm good to go.
We're good to go.
All right, let's see how you're looking too.
Oh yeah, you're gonna look at my character. So
why not?
This is what my character looks like.
Ooh.
With the wait, you might. There you go. Yeah, got the wolf.
My favorite cloak.
The lone wolf right there.
Looking good, sir.
Awesome. So while this is loading up, so Christian, tell us a little bit about yourself. They know you're my best friend and all this, but talk about what your hobbies were, prior to this, and what got you into this. Like what made you want to be a content creator for both YouTube and Twitch?
Well, yeah, this is fun. At least it's not like an actual Battlegrounds. Like, I'm not really too worried about it. But In terms of, I guess, hobbies and kind of what led to here, I mean, we have played a lot of sports together growing up, me and Lamar, since we originally met in fourth grade, which was due to the same being in the same basketball league. So we played a lot of basketball, and then we ended up playing a bunch of football together, and honestly, just a bunch of sports in general. So like sports were definitely a big thing growing up for me, and I played a lot of sports, and even now, like I mean, I still watch a bunch and I play here and there when Lamar brings me out, but I play a lot less than I probably should. But outside of that, I mean, I played a lot of video games, and obviously that's now translated into what I do now. So like I think growing up, like I was playing a lot of like very casual, like like lighthearted, usually like Nintendo games. Like I got a Nintendo 64. That was one of my first Christmas gifts, I think, when I was like 5 years old. And played a lot of N64. I got a Game Boy and played a bunch of like Pokemon games growing up too. So I was like, always have my hands on some sort of game growing up, and that kind of like when I was kind of growing up, it kind of made me realize that I wanted to have some sort of hand in gaming, like
Yeah.
when it came to work, which I originally thought might be in the form of like software development, because I've been a software developer for almost half a decade. But like originally, I thought that it might lead to like me being some sort of game designer. So yeah, that's kind of where things were before, at least the YouTube and Twitch. And then when I was in college and going to school for like computer information systems and computer science, I decided to make a YouTube channel around this game called Destiny that we started back in 2014.
Yeah.
And I was playing it a bunch in college, and then I just decided that like maybe let's see if we can do something more with it. And that's kind of, I guess, what at least led to it.
And just to let the audience who don't know, some people might know, but when this man tells you like he had like the consoles, I used to go to his house. He had every console, probably from like the only thing he might have not had was Atari, and that's just because that's older than both of us. But from Xbox to PlayStations to Nintendos to Segas to GameCubes to Wii. I mean, he still has it all right here behind me. Like it's in the house right here. So we used to get down on a lot of things at his house growing up. And like you said, yeah, like the sports field and realm was definitely us. But that's something and don't get him started talking on Kobe Bryant. R.I.P. to the GOAT.
The goat.
But that's what we did, man. We were probably the biggest competitors too. Like that was probably one of the funnest things was, post practice and stuff like that. Our 1v1s and
1v1s,
just always
3-point shooting contest, free throw
Right,
things,
just
like
any and
it's
everything.
just anything.
any and everything. So what is so now that you kind of touched on being a content creator, you were a software developer at some point. What is like a normal day in the life of CBGray? Like when it comes to making videos or streaming and stuff, like how do you go about that process, and how does it work for you?
Well, it's a lot different than it was. Like I'd say the majority of the time that I've been doing it. Like now that I do it at like I guess a quote unquote full time level, because I've been full time with this now for it'll be officially a year, I guess. February 18th. So it's a little different now because as the channel's grown, like just like any other kind of like thing in the real world, as you things grow, like you usually there's only so many things you can do alone. So really, I mean, the reason why I think the channel has continued to do well is because of I think the team we have around it. So I'm really like nothing without the people that I have working with me. So when I wake up, usually I'll record either footage that's going to be turned into a video, or we'll find footage that's already in streams that I've done from the past that usually we kind of deem as quote unquote video worthy. So there's kind of things in the game that I already know we're going to make videos on. Usually we have like a list, or like there's a list, and then there's sometimes things that'll come up out of the blue, but usually we'll kind of have a good idea of like once I'm waking up, like what we're going to be doing for the current day. So I usually meet my editor, and we'll kind of work together to get the footage that we need, and then I'll kind of give the direction of kind of where things I think things should go, and then usually there'll kind of be like a back and forth process of kind of getting things to where they need to be, and then from there it's usually a matter of posting, which kind of comes with like a kind of a brainstorming kind of session on kind of what I want to title a video and kind of what direction I want the thumbnail to go. Because that's kind of like a whole process in itself. So it's like a kind of a brainstorming session that I'll kind of have where I kind of try to figure out like what's the best way to yeah.
So this is like, so it's more like, I know some people at home would think, this is just, you get to stay at home and be full time and just playing video games, but it's more than that, right? It's like, it's actually very.
Well, I'd say video games are probably like 20% of it, like probably max. A lot. I mean, the majority of things are what isn't on camera or what's you're not playing. Like, there's a lot of planning. Like, I mean, YouTube's one of the, and like it's one of the hardest things out there to kind of like master and understand, and that's why it's like there's not that many people that do it, at least statistically, just because there is a lot to it. And if it was just me just playing a game and then clicking a button, that wouldn't really lead to much. So there's a lot to it. And I'm about to die. But with that being said, so I work with my editor, and then after that, in terms of figuring out the titling structure and everything, then usually either I'll make the thumbnails that we'll post for the videos, or sometimes, depending on the videos, that we have another person on our team that's in Argentina that we'll work on the thumbnails that we'll do, and we'll kind of have that same back and forth process that I'll have with my editor that works on the video, that's Scottish. I'll kind of have a similar thing with his name's Caesar, and we'll work together to kind of like figure out the direction of what we want certain thumbnails to go, and there'll be this back and forth kind of approval process until we figure out exactly what we want. And then from there, then it posting is kind of that next thing, and then so after things post, then it's kind of like a process of like monitoring, where like YouTube gives a lot of analytics when things get posted, and we pay a lot of attention to that, especially in the first like 60 minutes, because like you can kind of get a good feel for where things are going, and if like not only just like, I mean, I think that we try to put out the best videos that we can, but like you sometimes you don't know exactly how people are going to receive it until you actually see it being interacted with. So sometimes those interactions are great, and you see it and you're like, okay, perfect, and you leave things alone. But sometimes there's also okay, maybe this isn't being clicked on as much as I thought it was going to. Like, we need to scramble and change the thumbnail, and when we get to changing the thumbnail, sometimes we might change the thumbnail 5 times in the first hour. Same thing with the title. Sometimes maybe the title didn't hook the audience the way you thought it might, and so it's a process of changing the title multiple times until you kind of get what's known as the click-through rate, which is like just kind of the percentage that people click on a video when they see it. And so like a lot of the like process of a video is a lot of times after it already exists. So that first hour is usually one where we're paying a lot of attention to how a video is doing. And then usually after an hour, we'll kind of let it ride for the most part. And then after that, it's kind of on to planning, like, the stream for the day, because we stream every single day on YouTube and on Twitch. So kind of we'll plan, what's going to be, what's going to be the topic on what's going to be streamed. And sometimes, like, or not even sometimes, I say a lot of times the streams aren't things that I can do on my own. So a lot of times it's a lot of coordinating with other people that from the community that help make the streams possible, because a lot of times we'll like help people in the game, and a lot of times those are things that I can't do by myself. And the community is awesome, and is the only reason that the streams are able to work. So a lot of times it's like a coordination process to figure out what we're going to be doing and how we're going to make it work, and making sure it's seamless and making sure we're able to help a lot of people. And then after that, then it's the same deal. YouTube streams have thumbnails, so it's working again with Caesar to get a thumbnail for the stream, to make sure we have a YouTube stream thumbnail, and then usually we'll get coordinated on time and try to go live before it gets too late. Stream on YouTube for a few hours, and then stream on Twitch usually for the rest of the night, and then go to sleep and repeat.
Man, so that's a handful, and like a lot of times when people talk about a full-time job and being full-time, like 40 hours a week, but you probably put in
probably at least like I'd say like 16 hours a day.
16 hours a day,
if, days. If not more. Yeah, because it's just like it's very like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, it's very 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 like it's just you're always thinking about it, right? Because like sometimes I'm streaming,
Creativity, you got to be
yeah,
constantly.
I'm always thinking about what's the next video, but then I'm also like like stream. Sometimes you might just be I might stream until 4 a.m. Some days like or some days like when it's like Tuesday or Friday, we're waking up at the crack of dawn, so
Yeah.
I might be up at 5 or 6 or 7 to start streaming. So yeah, like it's I could be streaming at any time of day, or when the new stuff comes out, I might stream for 40 hours. But yeah, so it's one of those things where it's like it's just more like a lifestyle. Like
Right.
it's you're always like I feel like I'm always
Do like
sorry.
conventions count as like part of like the workload and the job, or is that more leisure? Because I know you go to like Guardian Con and other things like that. Like, what would you classify certain things like that?
To a certain degree. It's like there's like multiple aspects of it. I mean there's I'd say, I mean, with any trip, you try to have a little bit of leisure with it, like like I would say you're not as on the go as you are like a normal day, at home. But like, there's a certain level of networking that, comes with those types of things. And
Hmm.
there's a certain level of like, when you meet either people who are in the exact same space as you or in other spaces too, and you interact and have conversations, there's a lot of like fresh perspective you get. So it's like a lot of times, like, yeah, you might be, like let's just say like in front of a pool or something, but you're talking about like
Still,
how like you're listening to how somebody else goes about like like what like maybe in the same game, but how they go about YouTube and Twitch, or
right?
like in something different. Oh, I didn't think about something like that. So it's like this whole like kind of just like gigantic brainstorm for like a
It's
week,
almost like
like for like
workshops and
yeah
conventions
yeah
where
yeah
you're
yeah,
you're
yeah.
like kind of bouncing ideas off of each
Yeah,
other and
bouncing ideas, or just even just hearing what other people are doing, and it's like interesting because it's just like, oh, like it's just fresh perspective. So it's there's a lot of like I would say like brainstorming and and discussion that goes on, but then also there's a lot of also just like really getting to interact with the people who make it possible, which is cool too. So and that's honestly the best part about those, is like getting to meet people
getting
who
to meet to like game developers and
well, I was actually going to say people who watch the streams and the videos
oh,
that
okay.
make it all possible. Being the game developers is dope too, but like my favorite thing by far, at least like with like Guardian Con, like one you mentioned, is like getting to meet the people who made it possible for you. That's the most fulfilling part, and that's really cool for me. So yeah, so I think there's a mix of multiple different things when it comes to conventions. It's like a kind of a whole different thing.
So when you think about your career and jobs, like I know you went to school and you did like the computer software development, and like I don't know if coding's really in your realm, but
Yeah, I
like
was for
what
4 years. Yeah, that's a lot of it.
what was your true inspiration, like when you really decided to kind of take your step from going from being a software developer and coding to actually going on and being full-time content creator? What was your inspiration to make that happen?
Um,
I'm sorry, I know I'm asking tough questions while we're trying to
well,
multitask, and I
it's
just got
it's not even that. It's like just trying to like think like what like it's not like inspiration to actually like be a YouTuber, but to go full time. Like to like inspiration to do this like as like a full time gig, I guess.
hmm
Um, Probably my dad, to be honest. I mean, like my dad went from being in corporate to kind of within real estate investment, kind of paving his own path, and just kind of seeing a certain level of like, I mean, like of like freedom in the sense of like paving your own path, like not in terms of like working less, because honestly the second that you leave corporate, you work, in my opinion, like just as
more.
much if not more, to be honest, because I mean at that point every single dollar or whatever that comes your way is kind of what you're
Right.
putting your sweat and whatever into, like it's all basically on you at that point. But so like I mean in terms of just like I guess like going full time on something that's not traditional, I would say that was definitely like I mean seeing my dad do something that was not like corporate America, and that kind of at least gave me the confidence to at least try. I mean, yeah, and yeah, I don't know. That's probably. I would say it was at least one of. I mean, I think there's a lot of inspirations that I have. I mean, I have like I mean, from my mom, and you know how hard she worked when we were growing up, and there's been, you know, other people that I've watched do similar things in the space of like YouTube and Twitch, where you see, you know, other people doing things, and it's like, man, like, you know, like I wonder if, you know, I could do something like that when you, because I've been watching YouTube for since before it was YouTube. I mean, I was watching like Putfile before YouTube even existed. So I've watched a lot of people, you know, whether it's, you know, in gaming or in other spaces too, like, you know, like do streaming and do videos for a living. So I mean, it's definitely empowering when you see other people doing something similar, and it makes you, you know, like see that that's something that's that can be attained with a certain level of, I'd say, you know, hard work and you know, consistency.
Okay. So just a little sign off. I got a couple more questions there. We're gonna wrap it up because I know you gotta probably rest to get
we got 3 strikes to do. Song number 2.
I know we got another one to do out this. Just speaking on in terms of, you know, I guess you said the people who you do it for, and you know the fun of. Oh, it's not. Let me focus and figure out where I'm going. I haven't done.
I
this
believe
one.
you're
Okay,
dropping down.
There we go. I haven't done this track in a minute. I have to focus on and figure out. Where
Yeah, that's because like this was originally a story mission, and now it's
Right.
like a battlegrounds. This was the one where Cade 6 was stuck, if you remember.
Tragedy back on Nessus. RIP to the true GOAT right there.
I just got launched.
And speaking of K, so what's like your favorite memory while being, you know, a content creator? Like what's one of your favorite things, or, you know, memories that you've created since being a content creator? Like if you could think of one, or a few. Actually, I know it's probably really one. I'll give you one. That, I mean, you can give us one, and then I'll give you some. That way we can kind of balance it out. Let me think too, by the way.
It's tough. I mean, because at this point now, like, I mean, once June hits, it'll be 7 years. So it's like, so it's been like a lot of time. So it's like hard to like think if there's like a specific like favorite moment, because like, I mean, like the big thing for me is like every day where I've gotten, you know, hang out with the you know, the community that we've made, and meeting new people is always like, every single day is just always like, and just an amazing like new fresh experience. But like I'm trying to think, like I think that like it was definitely, I mean, like it was a really cool experience, I'd say, when like I did finally, like, you know, the first day I did decide to, you know, go full time on this. Like I think that was like a pretty cool moment. I don't know if it was like my favorite moment. I think it was just like I think a big step moment. But in terms of like favorite moments, it's hard. I mean, like there's been moments that I've really loved where like we've been able to do like things like you know, raise money for charity, or like, you know, be able to give stuff back to my community, or gigantic moments in the game, like, you know, like live events, like live events where, you know, we're freaking out, and like there's community events where, like, you know, I'm streaming for like 20 hours a day, and, you know, like just wired, because it's just like, you know, like something like, you know, like quarters of time, like you know, like all of this and like insanity, and you're trying to figure out, and excitement, and, you know, and things are just so new, and it's like, so like there's so many different angles to take it. I mean, there's things that I've loved in terms of being able to give back, that are definitely some moments that I hold dear. I'd say there's moments like in terms of like Destiny doing, like, I'd say very just new, like in like kind of like, I'm trying to think what the word would be. Very just totally new in terms of a gaming experience, things that they've done that have just completely just
changed.
Just changed. The way that the meta, but just how the like, way that we game, exactly. Yeah. It's like those have been really cool too. And then I mean, even like the OG days, like starting off, are also very near and dear to me too. Like when, like, you know, like before I even really had like that big of a setup, and, you know, we're like doing like the Zur streams back in like 2017, where like I'm on like my college laptop that barely works, and, you know, like we're playing private matches and stuff like
All right,
before
so
Azure comes. Like there's like it just depends. Like there's moments from the beginning that I really hold dear. There's moments from more recently in terms of like some of the steps we've taken that I hold dear, and there's moments that are just like in game that have also been like really really dope. So it's hard to pinpoint one though.
So for me, I guess I'll give you a couple of mine. Like so, a couple of mine because like you said, like it was a lot. Like I would say probably the first few was, just getting like Tyler and Quan to even like the game. Like remember, it was just us two. And
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I had taken a break for a little bit and came back, and then by then they had like gotten involved in the game. That was a cool moment. Then we were doing like prives. And that was like college years.
Yeah.
One of my favorite ones was like, honestly, is like when you do your first like get your first pinnacle like ward, pinnacle weapon from like the Crucible stuff. Like the amount of grindiness to even get that was ridiculous. Like, that was top tier. And then of course, like you said, like all of us rocking like we 4-man Chatterwhite, vaulted glass to get our Chatterwhites, and just certain things like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we gotta go down here. Okay, I gotta.
Yeah, I was going the wrong way.
Yeah,
too.
I was like,
to be fair, I was going the wrong way.
But it's like the simple things like that, and then of course, probably my all-time favorite was like when you really hit it. Not like hit it big, but when you kind of tapped into something when we were preparing for Destiny 2. And just the craziness that we did for those streams. Like we would be up like 24, like it started to build like the last month before the game came out, we were like staying up late, but then like that last 2 weeks it was like 24-hour streams, and then that last week to last 3 days was ridiculous, man. We were all in the game, just I don't even know what we were doing, but we were just running out of activities and just going nonstop until Destiny 2 dropped, and it was awesome, man.
No, Destiny 2 launching definitely is another one where even though Destiny 2 might not have lived up in vanilla, like definitely that build up was definitely an insane time for sure.
But yeah, so I really enjoyed that. So when you think of being a content creator, for especially this generation that's coming up behind us, kids don't really know about going outside and hanging out as much. Like, so for this new generation who maybe wants to be content creators and do what you do, like what would be a word of advice or the best way you would tell them to go about starting a career in this? And I know there's probably 100 different ways you can go.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of different ways to spin it, but I think that following your passions and your dreams is super important, and it's something that obviously like I did as well as I kind of was discussing, but like I think that the biggest thing is like just to make sure that whatever you're doing, just to be taking I guess like maybe the word would be like calculated risks. Obviously, there is like a very small subset of people who are on the YouTube and Twitch platform that are able to do it, sustainably for a living. But I don't think that should deter anyone. I think that like with hard work and consistency, I do believe anybody can do it, because I don't really think there was much that I did that like made me anything more special than anybody else. Right. I'm not that insane at this game. I'm not the most funny guy. I'm not really much of it. I just feel like I was very consistent with it, and just didn't stop. So like I don't really think that there was like it's not like I feel like I had some insane skill that set me apart where no one else could do. I generally do think if with enough dedication and enough focus to learn a lot of this stuff, I think that anybody can. I just think that it takes that level of discipline. But I would say on top of that, just to make sure that you're being smart with like building I'd say a foundation and a backup plan just in case things like that doesn't work, because I think anybody should be able to reach for the stars. But while I was doing that, I was still getting my education and still like making sure that if YouTube was to I would say just not pan out, that there was something else that I could fall back on. And then on top of that, I would just say with whatever you do within YouTube, within Twitch, within whatever, find something that you're truly passionate about, and you'll never burn out because you love what you're doing.
Yo, my man is really messing me up while we're having this
No,
conversation.
all good, all good.
But
Yeah, playing and talking is different.
Yeah, that was probably one of the things I had to learn with your stream, bro. Like as easy as you make it look, oh my god. Because when I tell you my focus level is like,
He's dead though. It's fine.
it's so.
I got him. He's dead.
But yeah, no. I heard everything you were saying, so I really appreciate that. And you know, we like to ask these questions because we don't really know who's listening and who can be inspired by what. You know, I think more times than not, you've said it before. Like our friend group really kind of inspires each other.
Yeah, no,
pushes each other to do a lot
100%.
of
Like, I mean,
things.
the level of like grind that you put into it. To like, I know what you're mentioning, like sports earlier. I mean, the level of grind and commitment and dedication that you put into to working towards your dreams definitely made it where like you see the level of like focus and discipline that you need if you're going to be serious about something. So definitely, I mean, seeing you grind the way you are grinding definitely was inspirational, and it's good to surround yourself with people who you see that are like-minded, but that also like-minded, but also like doing different things too, in the sense too, where you see other people, everybody's like it's just you get all these different fresh perspectives. So like like-minded, but also not like yes-minded. Everybody's got their own. Everybody's got their own thing, and not everybody's always agreeing. Everybody's pushing each other, in their own ways, like, and not just like like exactly carbon copies. So like that.
And I think that's what also makes us like cool too, because there'll be times where like, we may not agree with what each other are doing or what each other. Wow, this is a great way to end this. Oh my goodness,
the best strike in the game.
Holy, this is the best way to go out. The last one. Oh man. But no, like I was saying, like it's cool because at the same time, like by surrounding yourself with people like that, like they challenge you. Meaning, we're not all yes men. Like we'll tell each other, be like, I don't really agree with that, or I disagree, or maybe we could have did this a little bit better. Just finding ways to communicate and make things better, because it's never out of a. And I guess, and that would be my thing in any pursuit of any job or anytime you want to like start something on your own, like. Surround yourself with people who are gonna support you 100%, and that goes both ways. It's not all yeah, bro, you're doing great stuff, this that, but it's also like, hey, you could have did this better. We could have promoted this. Oh, are we speed running this? I was not aware.
Oh, I can go. That's on me. I'm sorry.
No, we can absolutely. Speed
Honestly,
run
I just like when I go into Lake of Shadows, it's almost like it's like
out of here.
Oh no, you're good. I'm chilling. He might not be chilling. That's the guy who's pushing ahead.
Speed ran.
But yeah, no, we can kill most of these things. But no, I definitely agree with that though. And I think that's been something that has been great with our friend group. And I would say in general, you're lucky to even get one person who was got your best interest, and that will support you through it all. And so the people that you love that are are pushing you, and that you're pushing them, like those are the people you want around for life.
So speaking of pushing each other and making each other better, like what is next for you? Like what is the next goal? Whether it's being a content creator or maybe looking forward to new realms of things or anything.
That's a good question. I think that like this past year was like a very like transitional year, because it was like just the most changed in my life. I've lived in Virginia almost 30 years. I moved to Texas. Different career. Now at this point, walking away from a job I had for almost half a decade. There were a lot of things that changed, and then obviously there's a certain level of like just things that required focus to get things like stable here. So like this past year in 2022 was very transitional, but I would say like this is going to be like the year of just kind of like figuring out like what I'm capable of, because like before when I was juggling things, like I feel like I was really only able to give, like, let's just call it like, I was already working like very much more than 40 hours a week in my other job. It's like I felt like I wasn't able to like give 100%. I would give 100% of whatever percent I had.
Right.
But like, you know what I'm saying? So if I only had 30% of myself to give, I'm gonna give 100% of that 30%. If that makes sense. But like, I never really felt like I could give 100. So like, really, it's gonna be figuring out exactly what I'm capable of. Trying to continue to innovate on the YouTube channel. Try to figure out how to, innovate on the streams as well. I want to, be able to take things further. I want to be able to do more inspired videos and make more well-produced things. Also want to give back more to my community. We are starting off the year, giving away, a PC, and we got some more giveaways coming next month too. Like, really giving back to everybody who's, giving me a platform at this point. And then trying to, build things outside of Destiny 2, like continuing to just diversify. I mean, which is, I think, just a important thing to do in life regardless. So I think, you continue to push Twitch and YouTube as far as I can, and then also, try to, build everything around it too. Just keep all the building blocks built, and, keep giving back to the people who, got me to where I'm at. And other than that, I mean, just have fun. Really, I mean, I really decided to be able to focus on this so I could do what I love with it, which is this. So I want to keep doing that, keep having fun with it, and see where it takes me, see where the wind blows.
That's crazy, man. Yeah, I definitely think 2023 is definitely going to be a year of a lot of comebacks and changes and new beginnings. I think we're just at an age now where it's just like it's like life is real now. Like you said, you just got your whole stuff. So now it's like, I had transitioned to a new job. So now that I kind of have it feel, now it's time to do a full year knowing what I know and knowing what I can do and how can I grow and expand from that. And the same thing from you. Like you kind of lived out here for a little while now and you kind of got a good system. Now it's like, how do I grow? How do I expand? How do I...
Yeah, exactly.
Because basically, what basically you just don't want a ceiling, right? We're trying to constantly push the ceiling. We don't want to just, settle or be complacent.
Right, and that's important, and definitely. But at the same time, too, like it's like I've definitely been trying also to like really, just be like really like just take a step back and like really appreciate everything that's already here too, right? Like definitely never want to get complacent. I want to keep shooting for the stars, but also like this is so far like times infinity further than I ever would have thought that this all would have gotten to. From just like kind of streaming on the PS4 and getting a little PlayStation camera, being in my basement, and us playing privates and maybe having a few people watching, and God bless everybody who gave me a chance, because thank God. I mean, if it wasn't for everybody, I probably would have stopped well short of anywhere near this. But seeing it kind of, I guess, turn into what it's turned into over almost 7 years, like it's just crazy already. So I've been really like just trying to just enjoy every day for what it is, and just not taking it for granted, because it's I never, like when I was dreaming about what this would look like, it was like never like what it's been able to get to. Now I got the community to thank, I got my friends to thank, I got the family to thank. So it's been dope.
This is the cool part. Like you can make emotes and stuff. Like I'm like over here looking at myself in front of you, just
flag on the play.
Flag on the play. Red card. So yeah, I mean, so squad, audience, we've actually just finished the 3 strikes, and we're actually going to start wrapping this up. But before we go, Christian, if you have anything else that you would like to say to your audience, to my audience, kind of moving forward, any last inspiring words, whatever you got going on, you can share that with us right now. If you have anything else that you
do what you love, surround yourself with people you love, and everything else will always work itself out. I'm getting to be here with you, and with people I love, and as long as you got that, I mean, you'll always be winning in life. You got people that you love around you. That's I mean, the biggest thing I can say. I mean, just surround yourself with people you love, and they'll pick you up, you'll pick them up, and you'll all grow together. and everybody wins. So that's.
And where can everyone find you?
CBGray on YouTube, CBGray on Twitch are the two main ones, at least where I post stuff. I would say are the main things to find me. And on the flip side, even though you're saying anything for you, I think everything you've been doing is amazing, and I think that a lot of people don't know, obviously, everything about either of us like the way that we would, because you just haven't been around for like the 20 years that we've, or however many years now it's been. How old are you when you were in fourth grade?
10.
So 20 years and 2 years. So 18 years that it's been. But Lamar is one of the greatest people you'll meet, and one of the hardest workers that you'll ever meet, and somebody that when he's got a he's got something that he's working towards. It's just something that you want to watch and see how it manifests, because I just think God's gonna do special things through you. So I'm excited to see what this turns into. It never doesn't always end up how
we envision it.
Well, I was gonna say in terms of we never know what that end thing's gonna be, in the sense of I didn't really know that I was gonna be playing video games for a living. You know what I'm saying? It's I don't really even know yet exactly what but wherever it ends up being, I'm excited for it to be, because I just think that that's part of the cool thing too, is just the ride and seeing where it takes you. And I'm excited to see where Two Fingers continues to go. I'm excited to see where your events continue to go, that everybody needs to check out, and everything else that you do in 2023 and beyond. And I'll be there to watch it. Hope you guys will be too.
Well, the man that spoke, he said it all. Like he said, you guys can find him on CBGray on YouTube and Twitch. Is the 5 on your social media?
Let's go. So it's underscore. So CBGray underscore on Twitter. CBGray YT on Instagram and TikTok, and I think that's all that I have for those ones. Yeah.
So I'll link all that stuff in there below once I get it all. But I just wanted you guys to see the man behind the screen. As you can see, there is a green screen behind us. We are actually in the game. It's like EA Sports. We are in the game, literally. So it's been fun playing with you. It's been fun catching up. So we're going to wrap this up, because I actually got to go back and pack so this man can drop me off at the airport so I can get back home. But like you said, there's a lot of things coming this year. We've been planning a lot, the podcast team, my whole family. So expect, right now we do have about 4 events kind of already solidified. We just are finalizing those at the moment. But just expect a lot more coming for the rest of the year. Again, it's been a pleasure hanging out with CBGray and allowing him to host this episode and to host me as a guest. And we'll catch you on the next episode. Two fingers.
We
out.
Later.